You're watching the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14.
Right now at 7, the historic Boots Court in Carthage is now open and accepting guests.
And the city of Pittsburgh gets a grant from the state of Kansas to take a closer look at its historic buildings.
And while we're off to a chilly start for us across the region this morning, we are going to warm up. We'll tell you how warm it's going to get and talk about maybe some changes coming up.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Thanks for joining us for the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. I'm Tanya Buck. On Saturday night, Crawford County deputies arrested a wanted man after he barricaded himself in a residence near Pittsburgh State University. According to the police report, the Pittsburgh Police Department received a call from the victim of an alleged domestic incident just after 5 p.m. This was at 1504 South Joplin Street. Upon further investigation, officers indicated the suspect was 20-year-old Isaiah Hayes. According to records, they indicate Hayes was wanted on the following charges: possession of marijuana methamphetamine, failure to appear, interference with law enforcement officers. And when police learned Hayes was barricaded and possibly armed inside the residence, they requested the help of the Pittsburgh Police Special Response Team. Hayes was later taken into custody. Police requested the following charges: criminal restraint, interference with law enforcement officers, aggravated domestic battery, choking in a rude manner, obstruction of felony warrant, service possession of methamphetamines. The Kansas Bureau of Investigation investigates the death of a Southeast Kansas man. Pittsburgh police say they received a call Friday afternoon reporting someone was shot. That's when they found 51-year-old David Mays of Weir, Kansas, in the road near 1023 North Main. Authorities say they believe the fatal gunshot was a result of an altercation between potential suspects. Authorities arrested 43-year-old Colin Gepford and requested charges for suspicion of attempted premeditated first-degree murder and felony murder. The report says Gepford made the original call to police. He was arrested without incident. And there is still another suspect they are searching for, though, and that is 32-year-old Travis Connes of Neosho, Missouri. Police say he is still at large. If you have any information on his whereabouts, contact the Pittsburgh Police Department. Authorities charged 2 Missouri men in connection to the death of a missing woman. Sean Wickstrom of Stockton and Christopher Appleby of El Dorado Springs are charged with first-degree involuntary manslaughter, evidence tampering, and abandonment of a corpse. This comes after Ginger Lynn Shoemaker went missing several weeks ago. Authorities found her body on February 8th in a rural part of Cedar County. Investigators were able to recover the body. There is still no word on the cause of death. Here's Chris with a quick look at your forecast.
Yeah, we've got a pretty chilly start. Not looking too bad from the MoDOT camera at 32nd in range line. We're starting to see a few additional clouds out there at 7th in range line. We're at 37 in Joplin right now. And again, a cool start for some of us as we've got 31 Yates Center, Iola, Chanute, 39 Parsons, 36 Miami, and 39 in Neosho. As we go through the rest of our morning, the clouds will continue to increase. Will be mostly cloudy, up to 56 though by 11. So we take a look at our afternoon situation. Mostly cloudy skies, few peaks of sun, 64 for our afternoon high. And as we head into this evening, slow to cool, make it down to 50 by 10 o'clock. We're looking at 40 for our overnight low. However, winds are going to start to pick up tomorrow in that 20, 30, 40 mile an hour range, and that'll persist Tuesday, Wednesday, and into the first part of Thursday. We're looking at 64. I already told you about today. Well, 64 today, in case you forgot. 63 tomorrow, down to 59. So not a lot of temperature change. Very mild when we start our Wednesday. Wednesday early morning, scattered showers, thunderstorms move in. They're going to last through most of our Wednesday. We're up to 58. And then late Wednesday, early Thursday morning, we'll drop back down to a low of 34. Only 48 Thursday, down to 21. 44 Friday. And then as we head into the weekend, we see additional rain chances, but our temperatures climbing up as well. And that'll continue as we head into next week. A little bit of breezy weather, but otherwise back into the lower 60s by next Wednesday. Tanya?
All right, thanks, Chris. Boots Court Motel in Carthage is now fully open for guests to stay. The historic motel is the second oldest motel in operation on Route 66. Boots Court Foundation saved the motel from being torn down.
And that's what Route 66 is all about. Taking something from our heritage and sharing it with the people around the world. I mean, we have people from all countries that have reservations coming up this spring, and we just can't wait to get to meet those people and show them our beautiful boots.
Boots Court Motel has 13 rooms and is available for nightly stays only. Well, Pittsburgh is taking a closer look at its historic downtown buildings. The city's getting a grant from the State Historic Preservation Office of up to $16,000. It'll fund the next phase of the survey to learn more about the history of some of the buildings, who owned them, and how they were used. It could be useful information in planning disaster response, future development, and more. The city chose to hire a survey company instead of conducting the survey themselves.
We can, but it's a bit time-consuming to do that, right? There's a lot of information, a lot of different sources that you look at. And these people are experts. They know what they're doing. They know exactly where to look. They know how to find all the information. We could do it ourselves, and we'd probably enjoy doing it, but it just takes too much time. We really don't have that kind of time. Our employees are fully employed doing other things.
One round of surveys is already complete, and those were the buildings facing Broadway, which was more than 100 buildings. Phase 2 is the buildings off Broadway, which is about 80 buildings. On Sunday, the Miners Hall Museum hosted its next installment of its Money and Metals series, this one called Doing Business in the Mining Era exhibit. The program focused on banknotes with discussion about national banknotes and local banking traditions. After the presentation, guests were able to explore the rest of the exhibit.
Well, the connection with banking here is very, very important to our local communities. Always has a strong tie to commerce and the development of all these different communities throughout this area here. It's very unique to have a banking family represented in several communities here as well, and their story parallels the story of mining in southeast Kansas. Museum will feature more special presentations throughout the year. Well, the line grew outside of Carthage Memorial Hall for the fifth inaugural four-state record show. Around 30 music dealers set up tables to sell vinyls, cassette tapes, CDs, and much more. Music lovers get a chance to grow their collections and win door prizes while they shopped around.
Vinyl's been growing in popularity for the last 10 to 12 years. The community really pulls together. Just having the physical, tangible thing in your hand and ownership of it. Music sounds better. It supersedes streaming by a long shot.
This event is held twice a year, and the next show is July 29th at Carthage Memorial Hall. Well, coming up, Chris will have another look at the start of your work week forecast.
And later, a 4-year-old boy goes viral on the internet, all thanks to some hockey fans. You're watching the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14.
And Health Watch this morning, drinking decaf may help you get off coffee without withdrawals, and that's according to researchers in Australia. Analysts studied the data of 61 people who drank 3 to 4 cups of coffee daily. Researchers separated volunteers into 3 different groups. 2 groups were given decaf coffee, one believing it was regular coffee, that's just mean, while the 3rd group was given water. The team found that participants who consumed the decaf coffee, even when they were not aware they were consuming it, did not experience as many withdrawal symptoms like headaches, irritability, or fatigue compared to those who did not drink it. Well, a plant-based diet could help those suffering with prostate cancer. That's according to a new study. Researchers at the University of California, San Francisco found a diet of fruits, veggies, and whole grains may help prevent the disease from progressing or happening again. According to the data, men who follow this diet had a 52% lower risk of the cancer progressing and a 53% lower risk of reoccurrence compared to those who do not. Prostate cancer is the 2nd most common cancer among men and is often treated with radiation therapy to kill cancer cells or shrink tumors. Nearly 3 years into the COVID-19 pandemic, the virus is still evolving, and new research shows just how much immunity we're getting after being infected. Tina Kraus reports.
Those 2 little lines can cause plenty of anxiety, but researchers say COVID infections are giving a good deal of protection too.
Infection gives you a lot of immunity. I think that's the high-level message, particularly for severe disease and death.
A new U.S. study finds natural immunity is strong and long-lasting for people infected with COVID-19 at least once before, giving them up to 10 months of protection from reinfection or serious illness, and lowering their risk of hospitalization and death by nearly 90%. This is the most comprehensive analysis yet on COVID immunity. Researchers from the University of Washington looked at 65 studies from 19 countries up until September of last year. Researchers found people with natural immunity from a pre-Omicron variant saw their protection against reinfection wear off more quickly.
That protection, particularly for infection, dropped a lot for Omicron. So we're down around about 50% protection for infection.
While findings showed a COVID infection gives similar immunity to a double dose of vaccine, researchers say getting a jab is still the safest way to protect yourself.
So you can get immunity through infection, but it runs the risk that you're going to be one of those cases that can affect all age groups, actually, where you have a bad outcome, you end up being hospitalized, or you could even die.
Researchers add COVID isn't going away and say as the virus evolves, vigilance against another variant is crucial. Tina Kraus, CBS News.
CDC says U.S. still sees an average of more than 40,000 new COVID-19 cases every day.
We are still chilly to downright cold across the area. We're also watching clouds begin to increase this morning, and they will continue to do so throughout the day. We do have some very spring-like weather on the way. Unfortunately, as you know, around here, if we get spring-like weather, also looking at some very gusty winds over the next 2 or 3 days, and we're watching some thunderstorm chances as we head into our Wednesday. We're going to take a full look at your forecast when the KOAM Morning News returns. Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News. It's 7:16 on this Monday morning, and you can see we've got the increasing clouds already from Tower Cam at 7th and Range Line. The sun is rising, but it is being obscured by most of these clouds. Same situation, MoDOT camera at 32nd and Range Line. Cloudy skies out there, and it's going to remain that way as we go through today. We're sitting at 37 in Joplin right now, but the wind is calm, and it is going to remain that way for today, but there's some big changes coming in. Some of us chilly or cool, some of us downright cold, like Yates Center, Iola, Chanute, all at 31, 32 in Fort Scott, 38 Pittsburgh, 36 Miami, 39 in Neosho, 41 Monette, 37 Carthage, and 34 in Lamar and in Nevada as we start our Monday. As our morning gets going, again, those clouds increasing, will be mostly cloudy throughout today, but check out these temperatures. A nice warm up. We're up to about 56 by 11 this morning, so not a bad start to the day. And as we head into the afternoon, we're looking at highs in the lower to mid 60s across the area. Again, mostly cloudy, a few peaks of sunshine possible, but otherwise pretty cloudy, but very mild, very nice out there, and calm winds. And I'm emphasizing that because that's not going to be the case over the next 2 to 3 days. We're going to be slow to cool this evening, eventually making it back down to about 50 degrees by 10 o'clock with an ultimate low of about 40 as we head into the overnight hours. The winds as we head into tomorrow morning are going to start to pick up. Now, initially, they're not bad. We're talking 15, 20 mile an hour wind gusts out there. But as Tuesday progresses, those winds will begin to increase out of the south-southeast. Now we're looking at gusts of 20 to 30 miles an hour across the area. And as we continue, this is by Tuesday evening, as we continue into Tuesday night, those winds really start to ramp up out of the south. We're looking at gusts 30, 40, 45 miles an hour possible as we head into tomorrow night and into Wednesday morning. Some of us could even see gusts as high as around 50 miles an hour at times as we head into Wednesday morning. We get a break from the winds for some of us in southeast Kansas. Everybody else, as you can see, winds still gusting out of the south at about 40 miles an hour. And then we all get back in on the wind gusts again, once again pushing that 40, 45, potentially upwards of about 50 mile an hour wind gusts as we go through Wednesday night into early Thursday morning. And it won't be until Thursday evening that the winds will finally start to calm down as they shift out of the northwest and usher in a few changes in our temperatures. All right, so we go through today. Again, mostly cloudy. We're going to be mostly cloudy as we go through our Tuesday as well, but we're looking at another pretty mild day. Early Wednesday morning, say around 3, 4 o'clock, we're going to start to see showers and even a few thunderstorms begin to develop across the area. Right now, we're not anticipating any strong or severe storms as we head into Wednesday, but of course, we'll keep an eye on it in case any of that changes. Our better chances for more widespread shower and thunderstorm activity will come by Wednesday late morning into the afternoon. As you can see, by about 11:30, showers and thunderstorms pretty widespread across the region. Holding on even into Wednesday evening. So remember, on top of the gusty winds, we'll have some shower and thunderstorm activity continuing into Wednesday evening. Once that clears out, we actually still remain mild, but take a look out west, say Wichita, Dodge City, Goodland. there's a big batch of cold air out there. Now, there's some good news. While it's going to get cold, it is not going to get quite that cold as we head into our Thursday. So let's take a look at what the temperatures are going to end up doing over the next few days. So here's what we've got. We're up to 63 tomorrow, only 59 tomorrow night. We're talking about starting in the upper 50s, lower 60s by Wednesday morning. So very mild, very spring-like out there. 68 on Wednesday. Once we get on the backside of this and the wind shift, it'll be late Wednesday, early Thursday that will drop down to a low of about 34 degrees. So a good portion of your Wednesday evening will actually remain mild until we get that shift in the winds and start to see the colder air run in. We're only 48 Thursday, down to 21 Thursday night. By the way, that is going to be the coldest low we see over the next several days. Up to 44 on Friday, down to 34. And then as you see, we head into the weekend. We've got increasing clouds and shower chances late Saturday going into our Sunday. But check out the temperatures. They start pushing the mid to upper 50s again. We go beyond that. Temperatures remaining in the upper 50s to lower 60s by the middle of next week. We'll also have the wind picking up as we head into the start of the next work week. But check out the overnight lows. Yeah, they're chilly like they are this morning, but not that bad. So again, we're looking at Thursday night as our coldest night. We've got a couple of cold days, couple of cold nights to get through, and then we'll be right back into that spring-like pattern once again across the area. We've got more of the KOAM Morning News right after this. At a recent pro hockey game, a little boy got almost as much attention as the players. The 4-year-old he's from Michigan, couldn't figure out why the crowd was cheering for him.
Video of him is now going viral, as Jeannie Moose reports.
It was George's first hockey game, and the Jumbotron ate him up. Detroit Red Wing fans booing. Opposing fans from Vancouver and cheering. Every time George came up, even if he didn't quite get it, the opposition, the home team. George finally cracked a smile and went viral. King George, they called him. I see a George bobblehead night. But it didn't give George a big head.
Like he didn't know it was about him and just kept saying like, yes, red team's winning.
Chelsea Miller describes her 4-year-old son as shy amid a whirlwind of attention.
There were probably at least 100 people that asked to stop to take pictures with him and high fives and can I get an autograph even.
Mom says they were hoping his sign would get George on camera, but they weren't expecting this.
Everyone just made it so special for us.
University of Michigan hockey wondered, George, do you need a Michigan jersey for the next game? George's grandma here, and he definitely needs a jersey. George reminded one poster of Mikey. Remember Mikey?
He likes it. Hey, Mikey!
Now everyone likes George, even Vancouver fans. Jeannie Moose, CNN, New York.
That's awesome. He was cute.
It's like, why are they yelling for me?
I know. He had, like his mom said, he had no idea it was about him. He's just enjoying the game. So that's really cool.
Yeah.
Talk about a lot of fun, and hopefully they get him a jersey for the next game, something that he can wear. And he did look like Mikey from that commercial.
He did.
He?
I remember that commercial.
Oh,
Mikey liked
crazy.
it.
That was wild. We've got more of the KOAM Morning News right after this.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. It's currently 7:28. As Missouri adjusts to the legalization of recreational marijuana, the impact is also felt in southeast Kansas. Law enforcement in Kansas say they might have slightly more work to do. Cherokee County Sheriff David Grove says they haven't seen much of an uptick in cases with possession of marijuana, but there has already been a slight increase in impaired driving. Sheriffs are trained to conduct different types of road tests because it's not always easy to determine a level of marijuana that someone can have even when driving.
With alcohol, there's a standard. It's 0.08, and then you're deemed too impaired to drive safely. With marijuana, that's not the case because there's different potency levels of marijuana.
Officers are looking for specific clues during the interaction with the driver, and based on those, the driver may be asked to take an additional test. Students in Carthage got a chance to learn about possible career options. Carthage Technical Center hosted its annual career fair. More than 60 vendors, including businesses, colleges, and the military, were there. The fair allows students to meet local employers, showcase their skills, and network with people in various industries.
I talked to MoDOT over there, and they're civil engineering, and I talked to them about maybe an internship next summer, and I think it's really cool. Or I don't know if Anderson Engineering is here though, but last year I got to talk to them about just doing civil engineering around here, maybe even.
There was also a booth providing assistance with financial aid and one to register to vote. Well, some KCU Joplin students are giving back to the community. Students from the school's Christian Medical and Dental Association volunteered at the Ronald McDonald House of the 4 states. Some helped prepare and serve meals to families, and others cleaned up around the house as part of the Healthy House projects.
I've done dinners before in the past at Ronald McDonald Houses in other cities, and so I thought this would be a great way to get our students involved and a great way just to be able to do something that's really tangible and to take the burden off of them for a night.
It's a lot of work, I gotta admit. If you're doing this just to have fun, if you're doing this for the money, if you're doing this for the prestige, like, it's not gonna cut it. You gotta have that solid foundation of service, that solid foundation of aspiring to help the community you're from.
Ronald McDonald House provides temporary housing for families with seriously ill children in the hospital.
We've got ourselves a chilly start to the day, but don't worry, as we go through the day, we've got increasing clouds. So yeah, it's going to be a cloudy one, but look at 11 o'clock, already up to 56. We've got temperatures today heading into the lower to mid 60s for highs, mostly cloudy skies, a few peaks of sun out there, and calm winds, as we're really going to see the winds pick up tomorrow, Wednesday, and into Thursday. Down to 40 for our low tonight, but slow to get there with clouds still sticking around. We're mostly cloudy tomorrow, up to 63. Those scattered thunderstorm chances beginning as early as 3-4 a.m., lasting most of the day. 68 down to 34 for the low. 48 Thursday down to 21, our coldest night so far. And then as we head into the weekend, rain chances increase, but so do the temperatures. Tanya?
The world is reflecting on the accomplishments of former President Jimmy Carter, who's receiving some hospice care after several hospital stays. The 98-year-old served one term in the White House from 1997 to 1981. Christian Benavides has more.
Visitors came to the Carter Center in Atlanta over the weekend following the announcement former President Jimmy Carter has chosen to enter home hospice care.
Great man, great president, probably underappreciated by those who don't know much about him.
Those who worked alongside Carter on projects with Habitat for Humanity after he was president are also remembering all of his efforts to help others.
He is one hard worker. He's the first one on the site in the morning and very often the last one to leave by the end of the day.
But nowhere are the memories stronger than here in Plains, Georgia, Carter's hometown, where he's lived for more than 4 decades following his presidency.
Lord, we'd be amiss this morning if we did not lift President Carter to you.
At Carter's church, there were prayers and reflections on what he and wife Rosalind fostered in the community.
It's just the examples that they have given to adults as well as my children who have grown up knowing them.
Carter taught Sunday school at the Baptist church, where his niece continued the family's work yesterday.
And to have known them and to love them.
You would have over 500 visitors here that sometimes would spend up to 48 hours in this parking lot waiting just for an opportunity to see him teach.
Others in town shared their thoughts on the longest living president in American history.
Down to earth country boy just like me. He'll tell you the truth about anything.
President Biden tweeted, quote, "We admire you for the strength and humility you have shown in difficult times. May you continue your journey with grace and dignity, and God grant you peace." Christian Benavides, CBS News, Plains, Georgia.
Carter's grandson Jason says he saw both of his grandparents on Saturday and that they are at peace and their home is full of love. That's a look at your top news stories coming up this half hour on the KOAM Morning News. Here come the bride and the groom. KOAM's Carrie Worthen takes us to a bridal show at Downstream Casino in Quapaw, Oklahoma, that also benefits the Ronald McDonald House.
Plus, we've got a pretty decent day lined up for us today, albeit a bit cloudy. We'll take another look at your forecast coming up.
You're watching the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. More real news in the morning. We'll be right back.
Crews in Mingo County are in cleanup mode after a mudslide knocked homes from their foundation and pushed train cars loaded with coal into a creek in the Ragland area of Mingo County. Miraculously, no one was injured. Matt Lackritz has more.
A strange noise woke Sarah Jackson up Friday morning a little bit before the mudslide, so she walked over to her dad's. She says if she hadn't, she's not sure she would be alive.
I thank God, that we're all still alive through all this.
With excavators, dump trucks, and heavy machinery on hand, crews are cleaning up. While the recovery may be long, those who live in these homes are just thankful no one was hurt.
I was on my dad's porch and I seen my apartment fall. It was just by the grace of God that I was there. I never thought my whole life that I'd ever see anything like this, not in this area.
Mingo County Emergency Management Director Doug Goolsby was one of the first people on scene and says some of the people were stuck in their homes for some time.
There was one home that had a bunch of mud that firefighters couldn't get to until they could get some heavy machinery in there.
Thankfully, everyone made it out without any injuries. In a statement from Norfolk Southern, the ones cleaning up, they say we have moved about half the landslide out of the way as of 5 p.m. today. We are clearing the road so that residents can get in and out and allow for emergency access.
Crews on scene tell me they still have a lot to do until this whole area is cleaned up. But right now, they're hoping to be finishing up by Tuesday.
Goolsby says as with all mudslide incidents, he's reaching out to West Virginia DEP.
Whenever there's a landslide of any sort, I usually try to contact DEP abandoned landmines to assure that it wasn't a mine-related incident where an old mine has failed.
Goolsby says he's expecting to have an answer soon, but can't say exactly when he'll know for sure.
The Red Cross is assisting those who lost their homes. And we've got a cloudy and chilly start for us today, but warmer weather still on the way, along with some rain chances and very gusty winds. We'll take a look at that full forecast when we come back. A live look at the MoDOT camera 32nd and range line. It's looking decent but cloudy, and temperatures are still chilly, but they will eventually start to warm. You can see we've got some breaks in the clouds, but more are on the way. We're at 37 in Joplin right now. So again, a chilly start. Some of us a little colder though, like Yates Center, Iola, 30 in both of those areas. 31 Chanute, Fort Scott, 37 Pittsburgh, Chatopa, 36 Miami, 40 in Neosho, and 37 in Carthage. As we get our day started, those clouds continue to increase and we will remain mostly cloudy through the day, but look at this, up to 56 by 11 o'clock. We're looking at highs pushing the lower to mid 60s, mostly cloudy, calm winds, but an occasional peak of sun or two possible through the day. We are mostly cloudy heading into this evening as well. We're slow to cool down to 50 by 10 o'clock. We'll eventually make it to a low of 40 degrees. And as we head into tomorrow morning, we're going to start to see the wind gusts increase. We're looking at gusts from 20, 30, 40 miles an hour through Tuesday into Wednesday and into the first half of our Thursday. On top of that, we're watching storm chances. So here's what I got. 63 tomorrow, only 59 tomorrow night. So very mild start to our Wednesday. Showers and thunderstorms building in early as early as 3, 4 o'clock across the area. More widespread by the afternoon, and they'll taper off by late evening Wednesday. 68. On the backside, we'll drop eventually down to a low of 34, only 48 Thursday. Our coldest night down to 21 Thursday night, 44 on Friday. Temperatures rising through the weekend, and we also see rain chances increasing from late Saturday into Sunday. That's a check of your forecast. Here's Tanya Bach with Consumer Watch.
All right, well, Twitter is making some security changes. The platform is disabling two-factor authentication by text for non-Twitter Blue subscribers. Two-factor authentication requires users to type in their password and then enter a code or security key to access their accounts. It's one of the primary methods for users to keep Twitter accounts secure. Twitter says it will make the change March 20th, and it's because they've seen bad actors abuse the phone number-based two-factor authentication. Twitter says users will have 2 other ways to authenticate their Twitter logins at no cost: an authentication mobile app and a security key. Twitter Blue costs $11 a month for iOS and Android subscribers. Well, you might soon be paying more money for a used car. Wholesale prices for used cars sold at auction have risen sharply in the last few weeks. According to Manheim, prices jumped 4% in just the last 2 weeks. That's an unusually large increase in such a short period. of time, and the jump also caught industry insiders by surprise. A shortage of new car inventory helped drive both new and used car prices to record levels earlier last year. Home prices are going up across the country, but there are some areas that are seeing price drops. The National Association of Realtors reports single-family median home prices increased 4% in the fourth quarter from a year ago to more than $378,000. But researchers found that a few markets saw double-digit price drops. That median price of more than $1.5 million is down 5.8% from a year ago. Americans are racking up debt at an alarming rate, a new troubling sign that inflation is eating away at American savings. Fox's Madeline Riviera reports on the data from Washington.
By some measures, the economy looks resilient, with retail sales rebounding in January and the lowest unemployment rate in more than 50 years. But new data shows trouble ahead as more people sink deeper into debt.
I think everything's kind of high right now.
Total household debt rose by 2.4% to $16.9 trillion in the final quarter of 2022. Most alarming is the share of credit card debt. Credit card balances grew by $61 billion to $986 billion, a record high.
The credit card debt is what bothers me the most because you know what the interest rates are on those. It's just very, very high.
Younger borrowers in their 20s and 30s appear to be struggling the most. They're beginning to miss some credit card and auto loan payments and are experiencing the highest delinquency rates. Inflation and higher interest rates may be to blame, the latter resulting in higher minimum monthly payments.
You look at the credit card defaults, right? You look at what's happening with auto loans, and these are a bunch of small cracks that are trickling down from the macro.
The White House, though, is pushing back.
Mortgage, auto, and credit card delinquencies are below pre-pandemic levels. In fact, mortgage delinquencies are near record lows since the start of the data in 2003.
While credit card balances grew quickly in the fourth quarter, mortgage and auto loan balances increased more moderately at a pace consistent with pre-pandemic levels. In Washington, Madeline Rivera, Fox News.
We'll be right back with more after this, but first let's take a look at the market prices before the opening bell. Metropolitan Weddings hosted a bridal show at Downstream Casino in Quapaw, Oklahoma, and this wasn't just for future brides and grooms.
See, this event also helps the Ronald McDonald House of the Four States. KOAM's Carrie Worthen joined the excitement and has more on this story.
Metropolitan Weddings host a bridal show at Downstream Casino Resort in Quapaw, Oklahoma. All proceeds from this event are going to the Ronald McDonald House of the Four States.
I thought that was great because they're a local service, and unfortunately it's one of those things where you don't know that you'll need that service until you're put in that situation.
One groom-to-be has a special connection to the Ronald McDonald House.
My son was born in Joplin Mercy Ronald McDonald House, and it meant the world to me.
Donna Clemens is just one of many volunteers at this event.
It's an incredible opportunity for us. We get our name out to young families and brides and people in the community, and we get to share the mission of Ronald McDonald House, and it's a great fundraiser for us. Helps us support our families who come and stay with us.
And with lots of vendors from food, desserts, suits, photography, and much, much more, there are sure to be something on your list at this event.
Able to sit there and taste some of these vendors and what they put their heart and soul into to make the day as special as possible.
I need a bar services and dessert and a caterer for my wedding.
But it's not all about the bride. Her fiance is here too.
Voluntold. He didn't really get an option.
A venue like this here at Downstream Casino will be able to give back to something that gave me so much.
Let's face it, the grooms-to-be are the real stars of the show. In Quapaw, Carrie Worthen, KOAM News.
I don't know if I agree with that statement. The brides are the stars. On top of $1,000 in prizes, tons of giveaways. There was a fashion show, bounce house, and plenty of photo opportunities.
See, that's something that's long gone. I don't have to worry about anything like that for the rest of my life. And
There
I'm
you
all
go.
right with that. And something we don't have to worry about today, cold weather. Now, yes, I know it's chilly right now, but it's going to warm up. We're at 37 in Joplin. We got some of those passing clouds, and those will continue to increase through the day. We got 30 Iola Yates Center, 31 Chinook, Fort Scott, 37 in Pittsburgh, Chetopa, 36 Miami, 40 Neosho, and 37 in Carthage as we get started. Going through the rest of the morning, those clouds, as mentioned, will continue to increase. Will be mostly cloudy through today. Up to 56, though, by 11 this morning. We're looking at highs pushing into the lower to mid 60s across the area. And again, we'll remain mostly cloudy, calm winds, and maybe a peak or two of sunshine through the day. We are mostly cloudy heading into this evening. Slow to cool, though, down to 50 by 10 with an overnight low eventually reaching 40 degrees. However, the winds are really going to pick up. So starting tomorrow morning, yeah, they're only up to about 20 miles an hour, but we go through the afternoon and into the evening and overnight. Now they're 20 to 30, then they become 30 to 40, possibly even slightly higher. And they'll remain that way as we go through our Wednesday and into our early Thursday morning, with some of us possibly seeing gusts as high as 50 miles an hour. And that's with some incoming changes in our forecast as well. So we're going to make it up to 63 tomorrow, mostly cloudy and windy. 59, so we're starting very mild Wednesday. 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, we'll start to see some scattered showers, maybe some thunderstorms, and they will persist through the majority of our day. The good news is right now, no strong or severe storms expected, but we'll keep an eye on that in case that changes. We're then, after that, 68, by the way, Wednesday, we drop down to 34, 48 Thursday, down to 21, our coldest night, 44 Friday, temperatures getting back into the mid to upper 50s through the weekend, with rain chances increasing Saturday evening into our Sunday. That's checking your forecast. We're back with the news you need to know right after this.
Here's a check of today's top headlines, the news you need to know before you head out the door. Police in Webb City turn to the public for information regarding a break-in at a Chinese takeout. Authorities say the break-in at the Bamboo Chinese on 209 North Main Street in Webb City took place just after 4:20 Friday morning. In a statement, Bamboo Chinese said they were broken into and their registers stolen. The Webb City Police are asking for any information concerning this crime, and you can contact them at 417-673-1911. A late Saturday night crash in Greene County takes the life of a Willard, Missouri woman. At about 11:30 Saturday night, a 2010 Toyota Prius driven by Bailey Collins ran off the Route Z 2 miles north of Willard. The car then struck a tree, overturned, and caught fire. Bailey was pronounced deceased at the scene. Firefighters battle an early morning blaze in Carthage, Missouri. The fire was around 1:30 a.m. Saturday morning at 410 Cedar Street. First report, there were flames and smoke from the second floor of a wood-framed house. Just minutes later, the second floor became fully engulfed in flames. Authorities blocked area roads to contain the fire. No one was hurt in the fire. All residents made it out. No word yet on how many people were affected.
As we go through our day, we're looking at a high of 64. We'll have mostly cloudy skies, maybe a peak or two of sunshine out there. We're slow to cool this evening, mostly cloudy, down to 50 by 10 with an overnight low of 40. Winds start picking up tomorrow morning. They'll be 20 to 30 to 40, possibly a bit higher. That'll continue Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. 63 tomorrow, 68 Wednesday with some thunderstorm chances. Colder Thursday, 48, and we warm back up this weekend with more rain chances.
Well, powerful telescopes are giving us a better look at young stars as they're forming.
Astronomers are using the James Webb Space Telescope to look inside not those people who could be giving birth to future actors, but spiral galaxies. Those are the stars we're talking about.
Young stars. The telescope can see the universe in infrared light, which enables it to look through the dust that until now has prevented us from seeing the formation of emerging stars.
The stars release energy, creating giant bubbles of gas and dust that sometimes overlap, forming a structure similar to a spider web.
Spider web full of gas. This observation program will continue to focus on different galaxies, taking images of star formation, offering new insights about the life cycle of stars.
All right, so absolutely fascinating. That James Webb Telescope doing an awful lot up there.
Yeah, it is.
It's just getting started. I mean, think how long the Hubble's been up there and everything it's seen. Think what this is going to see as time goes on.
Pretty cool.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for letting us put the good in your morning. We'll be back with more news and weather today at noon.
Have a great morning and an even better day.